Have you ever, stopped to think about the hidden structure behind language? How all these sounds and words just flow together to make meaning, tell stories. It's kind of like this amazing machine, right? And you wonder about all the little parts working together. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. But for Hindi, we're looking at Hindi, grammar, and vocabulary. We've got this detailed technical document, basically a blueprint of the language, our mission, to break it down into clear, fascinating insights for you. Expect some real aha moments.
Absolutely. Think of it as a real treasure map to the language. We're going to distill the core concepts. Yeah. Because understanding these building blocks, it's not just about rules, It's about unlocking the beauty and, frankly, the logic of Hindi.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting small, the absolute smallest piece. Van. The indivisible sound.
That's the one. The atom of the language, if you like. And the Hindi alphabet, it's pretty systematic. You've got 11 swar, those are the vowels, and 33 vyanjan, the consonants. So right off the bat, that's 44 basic sounds that make up, well, pretty much everything.
Let's dive into the vowels first. What makes a vowel a vowel? They're produced without blocking the air, right? Just pure sound.
Exactly. The air flows freely. And we classify them in a few interesting ways. First is pronunciation time, or matra. You've got hasva swar. These are the short vowels. O, K, A, K. They take the least time. People also call them mool swar, root vowels, or even ekmatik swar.
Okay, short ones. Got it.
Then the dur swar, long vowels like A, E, 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 E. They basically take double the time of the short ones.
Makes sense. Short and long.
And there's also plut swar.
Yeah.
Very long vowels. You mainly see these in Sanskrit, like in Toyakats. Pretty rare in modern spoken Hindi, though.
So length is one way. But what about where in the mouth you make the sound? That's fascinating, too, isn't it? How a tiny tongue movement changes everything.
Oh, absolutely. That's Prayatna ke aadhar par. Classification based on tongue effort. You've got front vowels, think pai ge, a. Then back vowels, a, ge, and also a. And right in the middle, just...
You can really feel that if you say them slowly. Front, back, middle. Cool.
Yeah. And then there's mouth shape. Mukhakriti ke aadhar par. Is your mouth closed, like forward? A.
Yeah?
That's samrit. Or half closed. Or samrit for a. Fully open vivrit for a. Or half open ard vivrit for a yigaharam.
Wow, okay. Lots of dimensions.
One more. Lip shape. Ostakriti ke aadhar par. Are your lips rounded? Ratakar, like for the A. Or unrounded, aadhar par. For the A. And then neutral, udasin for him.
It's like a whole coordinate system for vowels.
It is. And that vowel heart of hearts is interesting. It sort of came into Hindi from English words. Shows how language borrows, adapts.
Right. Languages aren't static. Okay, so that's vowels covered pretty thoroughly. Let's switch to vyanjan, the consonants. How are they different?
The big difference. Consonants need help.
Yeah.
They need a vowel sound attached to actually be pronounced clearly. They can't really stand alone.
Oh, okay. Dependent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And their classification is even more complex based on how and where you obstruct the air, like sparse consonants, where parts of your mouth touch like your tongue hitting the roof for A or lips for A, all the way to ard swear, the semi-vowels. That's A. They're sort of halfway between a vowel and a consonant. Really interesting sounds.
Semi-vowels, bridging the gap.
Yeah. And we also look at the place of articulation. Ukran stan. Is it from the throat? Kantia.
Yeah.
The palate. Teeth, lips.
Gostia.
Then do your vocal cords vibrate? That's gosh versus agabre.
Vibration or no vibration.
Okay. And finally, how much breath do you use? Alpren for less air. Mahabren for more air. You could feel that puff of air difference.
So many ways to slice and dice these sounds. It's incredibly detailed.
It really is. It shows a deep understanding of phonetics built right into the tradition.
Now, what about when consonants sort of merge? Like samyuk vyanjan, shanplan kanwa, shankwan echa, chankempel. These aren't just two sounds stuck together, are they?
No, that's a key point. They're true joint consonants, two different consonants combined, and they actually change form, creating a new, distinct sound. It's a transformation.
A phonetic fusion.
Precisely. And speaking of unique categories, you have ayogva, ehyo. That's the hanta, anta, o, ah. These are fascinating. They kind of act like consonants needing vowel support, but the vowel comes before them. They sit in this little space between vowels and consonants.
Like linguistic connectors?
Kinda. And with Inagva, there's Anuswar anta, the nasal dot, like in Natainan.
Yeah.
Air only from the nose. Versus anunasik, the moon dot, like in some Delftskoy. Hansna.
Yeah.
Air comes from both the mouth and nose.
Ah, subtle but important difference in airflow.
Makes a big difference to the sound, yeah.
Okay, so we've built up from sounds, the varn. Now let's zoom out to shub, voya words, a meaningful sound from letters. But where do all these Hindi words actually come from?
The sources. This is where history meets language. It's a mix. First, you have Tatsambhaneva words. These are direct loans from Sanskrit, unchanged, like Agni for fire or Ardkan Ratri for night. Pure Sanskrit.
Straight imports. Okay.
Then, Tatpav, Takotobo. These started as Sanskrit words, but evolved over time, changed to fit Hindi better. Like hath, hand, comes from Sanskrit, kasmo, hasta. Or eleri, kahan, you're from Adiya. You see the evolution.
That's adapted imports. Makes sense.
Then you have Deshi, Veji. These are truly indigenous from local Indian languages and dialects. Think Rhoda, pebble or Helen, bangan, eggplant. Homegrown words.
Local flavor. Nice. And then the global influence. Videshi.
Main words.
Borrowed from other languages. It's amazing, really. Videshi varsho from Japanese. Inaji from Chinese. Ihamaluka, almari, wardrobe from Portuguese. Kanchi, scissors from Turkish.
Wow, that really shows how languages mingle. It's like a linguistic melting pot.
Totally. And you even get sankar, words hybrids mixing two languages. Like the kun is Persian, pasin is Hindi. Or any is there's Jal Khana, Jail is English, Khana is Hindi Persian.
Linguistic mashups.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so that's where words come from. But how are they structured?
Right. Based on structure or formation, we have a few types. First, rudha, words. These are basic fundamental words. You can't break them down further. Like Plir, Kamal, Lotus.
The building blocks. Exactly. Then yogic words. These are formed by combining two or more meaningful words, like Patshala, school, is path reading, plus shala, place, or the kwachala, vidyalaya, school, is vidyala, knowledge, plus alaya, abode. The meaning is pretty clear from the parts.
Compound words, basically.
Yes, but then you get yograta. These are also compounds, but they take on a special specific meaning that isn't just the sum of the parts, like eganan, literally 10-headed, but it specifically means ravana, or leganabodar, large-bellied, which means Ganesha.
Ah, so the compound points to something specific, often metaphorical.
Exactly. The meaning transcends the literal combination. And one more crucial distinction based on how words behave in sentences, vigaye versus avigari.
Declinable versus indeclinable.
Precisely. Vicari words change their form for gender, number, case, tense. They're flexible. Nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs fall here. Avikari words, they stay the same, always. No changes. These are things like adverbs, postpositions. They're the constants.
Okay, let's dive into those flexible ones first, the vikari shab. Starting with the big one, sanya, the branding nouns. What kinds are there?
Hindi classifies nouns into 5 types, which helps organize how we talk about the world. First, Vikati Vachak, the pronoun-specific names, Otokahi, Rotak, Namaga Ganga, Ichononic entities.
Got it, specifics.
Second, Jati Vachak, common nouns, general categories, general categories, Galamaka, Chatra, student, Nadi, a class of things.
General categories, okay.
Third, Blavachak, abstract nouns. These name qualities, states, feelings, ideas. Keltmarpan, childhood, metas, sweetness, chanekred, krodh, anger, things you can't physically touch.
The intangibles. Exactly. And often these are formed from other words, which is neat.
Yep.
Fourth, Samode Vachak, Pagavano Kalekyo. Collective nouns, a group considered as one unit. Kaf, Sena, army. Vaila, bead, crowd. Taksha, class.
Oh.
And fifth, Dravya Vachak, material nouns, substances, materials. Ghee, just show, tel, oil, sone, gold, water, pani, water.
Stuff you can measure. Okay, 5 types now. Gender, ling. This can be tricky for English speakers, right? Hindi has 2, masculine, plain, and feminine.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Because grammatical gender doesn't always match natural gender, and sometimes it seems arbitrary. Like, why is neko nailan masculine but ek kun kan kaya feminine? Or mekina, daikor is masculine, chakya like mitudat is feminine. It's not always intuitive.
Just have to learn them.
Pretty much. But there are patterns. You can often change gender with suffixes, like harecha, harsher, lion, becomes kershi, shurni, lioness. Chanshi, shriman, Mr. Lingo teacher, becomes arsha, shurmi, lioness. Shriman, Mr. It becomes a shrimati, Mrs. Shri.
So there are rules for converting.
Yes, several patterns. And some general tendencies, like mountains, days, months, are often masculine. Rivers, languages, abstract concepts like kindness are often feminine. But there are exceptions.
Always exceptions.
Always. And then you have upaya ling. These can be either gender without changing form, like Abhaida Prime Minister or Rakhen Manager, useful for modern roles.
Okay. Gender is key. What about vachan, number, singular and plural?
This one's a bit more straightforward, thankfully. Singular is one, plural is more than one. Like second books, that rules for forming plurals, of course.
Right. Simpler than gender, maybe.
Generally, yes. Now, karak, karkat case. This is super important. It shows the relationship of a noun or pronoun to other words, especially the verb.
How it functions in the sentence.
Exactly. And this relationship is marked by vibhaktis, and these little postpositional markers. And here's where context is king. Take the marker, kasik. It can mean with or by means of the instrument. Like kazgan karak kakala kalada hakupa, wrong, killed Bali with an arrow. That's karan karak.
Okay, say meaning with.
But kanas can also mean from, indicating separation, like kabake hakano 119.
Yeah.
The Ganga emerges from the Himalayas. That's Upadan Karak.
Precisely. You have to look at the whole sentence to know what Sel is doing.
Yeah.
It really highlights how context drives meaning in Hindi.
That's a critical point. Okay, next up. Sarvanam Paleho pronouns. Replacing nouns to avoid repetition.
Exactly. Linguistic efficiency. Makes sentences flow better. Hindi has 6 types. You've got personal purushvachak like anarachua, demonstrative nishchayvachak like this, patak, indefinite anishchayvachak like something too.
The basics.
Then relative, some interrogative the prehusto. And reflexive nivachkak like one's own.
Wow. Covering all the bases for replacing nouns?
Pretty much. They make speech much more natural.
Okay. And describing all those nouns and pronouns, that's visheshan. Adjectives, adding detail and color?
Yes. Adjectives modify nouns or pronouns. 4 main types here. Qualitative, kunvachak, describing a quality like tunja, good, bad, ton tall. Quantitative, parimanvachak, indicating amount like kulan per 10 quintals. 126 trillion quantity.
Quality and quantity.
Numerical sankhya-vachak specifying number, like 2, small, many, mani first. And pronominal, sarvanamic, when a pronoun acts like an adjective, like emgathapo, this school. Hela modifies heya, hela, giving us specifics about the nouns.
Exactly. Making descriptions precise.
And finally, for the declinable words, the action words.
Kriya.
The engine of the sentence. The key distinction here is transitive versus intransitive. Sakarma kriya are transitive verbs. They need an object to make sense. Like to read, you have to read something.
Needs an object. Got it.
Karma kriyav, like in Sarji's letter parting, are intransitive. They don't need an object. Like demit, to sleep, you just sleep.
Yeah.
The action is complete in
That's
itself.
no object needed. Okay.
And a really cool type is pradhanarthak kriya. Causative verbs. This is where the subject doesn't do the action, but causes someone else to do it.
Yeah.
So tanarthalane is to read, but tadana, vadana, is to cause someone to read or to have someone read.
So the verb itself indicates that someone else is doing the work.
Yes. It packs that whole causative idea into one verb form. Very efficient.
Okay, that wraps up the vikari, the changing words. Now for the constants. Avikari shab hogabdanyado, or avia hokamem. The indeclinables. Why are these important?
They're crucial because they provide the grammatical glue and context without changing themselves. They're stable points in the sentence structure. 4 types. First, kriya visheshan. Adverbs. They modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs, telling you how, when, where, why, how much. Like yesterday, yesterday. Here, ekin very kinso slowly.
Modifying the action or description.
Right. Second, samband bolakak. No sambakak, postpositions. These are a bit like prepositions in English, but they come after the noun or pronoun they relate to, like but, kasam, kastenque, kasanding, kanto, ke nicht loba. They show relationships between words.
After the noun. Key difference.
Yes. Third, samache bolak, tsanderakata kastisis. These join words, phrases, or clauses, like they and there, but hey or connectors.
Joining things together.
And fourth, bismiari bodaka katakonyat objections.
Expressing sudden feelings. Oh, wow. A loss, libath, pure emotion.
The expressive bursts. Okay, those are the unchanging words. What about time itself? Kal, tense.
Tense, yeah, fundamental. It places the verbs, action, in time, present, past, or future. Hindi, like English, has various subtypes within each main tense to indicate aspect like continuous, perfect, etc. But the basic idea is locating the action on a timeline.
Present, past, future. Universal concept.
Pretty much. Now, related to verbs is vacharya, vachia voice. This changes the focus of the sentence. Is it on the doer, the receiver, or the action itself?
Active versus passive and something else.
Exactly. Vacharya vacha is active voice. Subject is the focus. Yagrama, girls are going to the market. Focus on the girls. Karma vacha is passive voice. Object is the focus. Object is a focus. It
allows for different shades of emphasis.
Okay, bringing it all together now. Vakya, the sentence, a complete thought.
The fundamental unit of complete meaning. Every sentence basically has two parts. Udesha, the subject, who or what it's about. And Vihya, the predicate, what's said about the subject.
Subject and predicate, the core structure.
Always. And sentences themselves have different structures.
Right, like simple, complex.
Exactly. Saralvaga, Kabati 88 night. Simple sentence. One subject, one predicate. One main idea. Steapanayash. Ramkilravana. Straightforward. Mishwabake kanbaraskeno. Consiora keki. Kentanare cake some faida. Kanta sentence. Has a main clause and at least one dependent clause linked by words like the chikates one coulda now. Because so a main idea with the supporting details.
Main part and a subordinate part.
Yes. And samyukswakya niknapaka. That was compound sentence. Two or more independent clauses, basically two simple sentences, joined by conjunctions like abano and pedasegtumba. Two equal ideas linked.
Two complete thoughts joined together.
Right. And beyond structure, sentences have different meanings or purposes. There are about 8 types based on meaning. Like vidhanvachak, affirmative statement, prashmaichak, question, agevachak, command, nismayadi bodhak, exclamatory, and so on. Each serves a different communicative function.
Okay, let's unpack this more. How do we build new words or add complexity? Prefixes and suffixes seem key here. Upsarg, itush, and prathche.
Absolutely vital for vocabulary expansion. Upsarg are prefixes they attach to the beginning of a word. Prathche are suffixes they attach to the end. Both change the word's meaning or grammatical function. Like, take the prefix sus, meaning good, added to puto, son, good son, suputra, good son.
Instantly changes the meaning.
Right. Or the suffix I, added to the verb root pruai, lad, fight. Ladai, the noun, fight, changes the word class.
Verb to noun, powerful little additions.
Very. And these affixes, they come from Sanskrit, Hindi, even Persian, English, adding layers to word formation.
Okay, so adding bits to words. What about merging sounds themselves? That's sandhi, right? Where sounds blend and chain.
Exactly. Sandhi is the process of phonetic change when two sounds come right next to each other. It makes pronunciation smoother, more natural. Most common is swar sandhi, vowel conjunction. When vowels meet, there are 5 main types here, each with specific rules.
5 types of vowel merging. Okay.
Yep. First, dirgha sandhi. 2 similar short vowels merge into one long vowel, like a plus a becomes e. Example. Apte paramar apte hain. Pradhan ke param plus nalbir mekken paramar. Second. Yan sandhi. Vowels like yan or asho change into consonants like na atir gaibi when meeting a different vowel. Example. Ate plus yan sandhi plus varamaskan stole when the atyon, the alia becomes young.
Wow. Vowel turns into a consonant sound.
Kind of. Third, kunasandhi. Netragate valilba combine to create a new quality vowel like arafa. Arafa. Sandhi. That means plus gross. Sadhan seldro. Example, ek plus ayarava means growth. Vowels combine to form bigger vowels like ek plus garia. Ek plus है ना एक क्या लगे plus से दातरा करेंगे. And fifth, ayadi sandhi said vowels or change it to sounds like ara or ara or ara. Forget ara or hara. That's datar ara. That's a little ara. Ara the me hara visho. Ara utarane. Tara shatarane. That's the kara sara korne. Those are specific rules for vowel interaction.
Very specific. And there's also Vyanjan Sandhi, consonant changes, and Visarga Sandhi, changes involving the sound. It's all about smooth sound flow. Like that plus summer becomes that Uchana.
Uchanan, but their pulse becomes Vorakunpam ki. Cool creates that fluid sound of spoken Hindi. Okay, another way to combine things. Vyam, the T varsha. Compound words joining whole words together.
Yes, creating a single compound word from two or more related words. Very common, very efficient. 6 main types. Avya but samas. First part is dominant, often an indeclinable word of you, like Yatachakti according to power. The Yata dominates, Tat Purus samas. Second part is dominant, often hides a case relationship. Vaituriya, Rashmur, Raja Kukumar, King's son. The Kumar is key. There's also a negative version, Tatpurus, like Yanatut Nachos, not touchable.
Okay, depends which part carries the main meaning.
Right. Karmadare samas shows an adjective, noun, or comparison relationship. Burhaikath, blue-throated, describes a noun. Devi samas. Easy to spot. First part is a number. Lakabedam Navaratri, 9 nights.
Numerical prefix, got it.
Dil Davanva samasas. Both parts are equally important. Often joined by and, when expanded. Far Matabida, mother and father, both equal. Bahuvari samas. This one's different. Neither part is dominant. The whole compound refers to a third specific thing, usually a person or deity. Magabari, Midoklod, the Syolklods, but it means Lord Krishna or Vishnu.
Ah, the compound becomes a symbol for something else.
Exactly. The meaning points outwards. It's not just about the parts themselves.
This is where language gets really creative and, well, artistic. Alankar, figures of speech, like ornaments for language.
Perfect analogy. They beautify language, add layers, make it more impactful, more memorable. 2 broad categories. Shabd, Alankar. These depend on the words or sounds themselves, play with the form. And Arthalanka, these depend on the meaning and the imagery created. Play with the sense.
Okay, let's look at the word-based ones first. Shabd alankar. Alliteration must be one, right?
Yes. Anupras andaya is alliteration. Repetition of a consonant sound. Like, Habe Petrya, Hapo Beha, Ako Mansan Mahabe Fefatanda, Chabo Mandantan, Jaba, Chavara, Chabo Hupan San Vampebesa. Chabakandraki Chanchakirnin. That repeated sound is musical.
Creates a rhythm. Nice.
Then yamak, yamakan. This is where the same word is repeated but has a different meaning each time. The famous one, Kadobasam Kabana Bansan Opazema Banu Kontanide Jabenohopa. Here Kabbalah means gold the first time, and Tatura, a poisonous plant, the second time. Powerful contrast using the same word.
Same word, double meaning. Clever.
Very. And then shlish. This is punning, where a single word carries multiple meanings at the same time in context. Rahim's couplet again. Hiembrai agajemwea. That word, hiemau, pani, simultaneously means luster for pearls, honor for humans, and water for lime. All packed into one word in one use.
That's incredible linguistic density. One word doing triple duty.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Shows the depth. Now for hiembrai alankar, the meaning-based ones.
Simile, comparing things.
Exactly. Upma, ehema is simile. Explicit comparison using words like or as.
Isa. Yeah. The mind swayed like a people leaf. And upma has 4 parts. The thing being compared, upamea, the mind. The thing it's compared to, upaman, the leaf. The common quality, satharantarm, swaying. And the comparing word, achak, saris-like.
Very structured.
A formal comparison. What about metaphor?
That rupakanis. It's a stronger comparison. Instead of saying A is like B, it says A is B. Complete identification. Epikenke velas no kontiuranda. I bow to the lotus feet of Hari. The feet are lotuses. No like or eyes. More direct, more intense.
Merging the two things completely.
Yes, and one more. Utpreksha hutada. This is conjecture or imagination. The poet suggests a possibility or imagines one thing as another, often using words like tini, mano, as if, or jogya.
You don't know that, like, he looks beautiful, as if a morning sunbeam has fallen on a blue gem mountain. It's presenting an imagined scenario as a comparison.
Inviting you to imagine the comparison. Very poetic.
These really elevate the language beyond the literal.
So we have the grammar, the structure, the artistry. What about just junt? The words themselves. Vocabulary is huge. And accuracy matters too, right? Spelling, sentence correction.
Absolutely. Vartani Shuddhi, spelling correction, and Vakya Shuddhi, sentence correction, are vital for clarity and precision. But the sheer richness of Hindi vocabulary is astounding. Take Parayavachi Shabd, Acta, synonyms. Hindi often has so many words for one concept, each with a subtle nuance. Think of egg, puts fire. You also have ele, elele. Each might evoke a slightly different image or intensity of fire. It allows for incredible precision in expression.
Choosing just the right word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then Anikarthi Shabd, polysemous words, one word, multiple meanings. We mentioned taganak, sarang earlier.
Yeah. Meaning deer, bee, peacock, woman, cloud, like dozens of things.
It's amazing. Shows how compact the language can be, packing so much into single words depending on context.
Mind-boggling, really.
Then you have a Vilamarthi Shabd, kind tied in clays.
Antonyms. Essential for contrast. Well, Tari, the breaker, you worry, tup talk, Chakra oh, basic, but crucial.
Expressing opposites.
And for efficiency, anek shabdon ke liye ek shab. One word substitutions. Condensing a whole phrase into one word, like a kontat ko marstikin ek kashamia, one wunago dena, that which cannot be forgiven is simply akshambya.
Much shorter.
Oh, that amazing one. A woman who cannot even see the sun, implying extreme seclusion or high status, is aksham.
One word captures that whole complex idea.
Wow. That's packing a lot of culture into one word, too.
It really is. But maybe the real heart and soul, especially if spoken Hindi, lies in muhavare idioms and the kahavatein proverbs.
Yeah, the expressions that don't make literal sense, but everyone understands.
Exactly, idioms. Their meaning isn't compositional. You can't guess it from the parts. Like, yambunade. Han kon kataro hona. Literally, to be the star of the eyes.
Means to be very dear, right? Love it.
Yes. Precisely. Or, Kobo 101. Hikachue Alukipito to be a wall of sand. Means something fleeting, temporary, unreliable. You have to know the cultural context.
They add so much color.
They really do. And proverbs, kavaten, are like capsules of traditional wisdom or advice.
Those sayings everyone knows.
Right. Like a half-filled pot splashes more. Meaning someone with little knowledge tends to show off or boast more. Empty vessels make the most noise.
Such a great image. We have that in English too.
Many cultures do. Or just kibanes. Whoever has the stick gets the buffalo. Basically, might is right.
A bit cynical, but probably true sometimes. These really give you insight into cultural perspectives.
They absolutely do. They're snippets of collective experience passed down through language.
What a tour. Seriously, we went from the tiniest sound, the varn, all the way through word origins, how words change based on gender, number, case. Then the unchanging words, sentence structures, how new words are built with prefixes and suffixes, the magic of Sandy where sounds merge, explored compounds, the beauty of figures of speech, the richness of synonyms and polysemous words, and finally the cultural heart in idioms and proverbs. Knowing all these pieces, it doesn't just help you learn Hindi, it helps you appreciate it on a whole new level.
Absolutely. You start to see the intricate system beneath it all. It reminds you that language is this incredibly complex living thing. It's not just random sounds. There's a deep structure and history there.
So here's a thought to leave you with. If understanding grammar is like getting the logical framework of a language and vocabulary gives you the building blocks, then really getting the idioms and proverbs, that's like understanding the cultural soul, the way people think and feel in that language. How might looking at language this way, breaking it down to its core components and cultural expressions, change how you approach learning any new language from now on?